Why your future self hates you. Imagine meeting yourself 10 years from now. Not the version you fantasize about, not the millionaire, not the perfect version, the real version. The person created by every decision you make today. Now imagine they look you in the eyes and ask, "Why did you make my life so much harder?" It's a disturbing question, because most people assume their future will somehow be better than their present. They think they'll become disciplined later, they'll start exercising later, they'll stop procrastinating later, they'll finally chase their dreams later. But later is a dangerous word, because your future isn't being built tomorrow, it's being built right now. And that's exactly why your future self might hate you. The first reason is simple. Your brain is designed to prioritize comfort over growth. Psychologists call this present bias. Present bias is the tendency to choose small rewards now instead of bigger rewards later. You know working out is good for you, but skipping it feels easier. You know reading a book could improve your life, but scrolling social media feels more enjoyable. You know learning a valuable skill could change your future, but watching another video requires less effort. Every day, your brain asks a question, what's easiest right now? The problem is that success asks a different question, what's best in the long run? And those two questions rarely have the same answer. Think of it this way. Imagine your future self has a bank account. Every good habit deposits money into it. Every bad habit withdraws money from it. Most people spend years making withdrawals. Then they're shocked when the account is empty. The scary part is that the cost isn't immediate. That's why bad habits are so seductive. The punishment comes later, which means your future self ends up paying for decisions you made years ago. But it gets worse. The second reason your future self hates you is because small decisions compound. Most people wait for a life-changing moment, a breakthrough, a burst of motivation, a perfect opportunity. But life doesn't usually change that way. It changes through tiny actions repeated consistently. One workout won't transform your body, one book won't transform your mind, one productive day won't transform your future, but repeat those actions for years and everything changes. This is called the compound effect. Tiny choices seem insignificant because their results are invisible at first. Missing one workout doesn't matter. Wasting 1 hour doesn't matter. Procrastinating for one day doesn't matter. But that's exactly the trap. Because the consequences don't arrive immediately. They accumulate quietly, like snow gathering on a mountain. One snowflake means nothing. Thousands create an avalanche. The same thing happens with your habits. Every small action pushes you in a direction, and eventually, direction becomes destiny. This is why successful people aren't necessarily smarter. They simply understand that consistency beats intensity. A person who improves by 1% every day eventually becomes unrecognizable, not because of talent, because of repetition. Which brings us to the third and most important reason your future self might hate you. You're becoming someone whether you realize it or not. Most people focus on outcomes. But psychology suggests something deeper. Identity drives behavior. If you believe you're lazy, you'll act lazy. If you believe you're weak, you'll avoid challenges. If you believe you're disciplined, you'll start making disciplined choices. This is connected to something called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to rewire itself based on repeated actions. Every time you repeat a behavior, you're strengthening a pathway in your brain. Imagine walking through a forest. The first time, the path is difficult. The 10th time, it's easier. The 100th time, it becomes automatic. Your brain works the same way. Every action casts a vote for the type of person you're becoming. Read 10 pages. That's a vote. Exercise for 20 minutes. That's a vote. Keep a promise to yourself. That's a vote. Waste hours avoiding important work. That's a vote too. Your future self doesn't care about your intentions, they care about your patterns. Because patterns create identity, and identity creates your future. This is why people wake up 10 years later feeling trapped. Not because of one bad decision, but because of thousands of small decisions repeated without thinking. The good news is that the opposite is also true. Just one positive habit can start changing the direction of your life. You don't need to transform everything today. You only need one small win. Here's a simple exercise. Tonight, write a letter from your future self. Imagine you're 10 years older. What would that version of you thank you for? What habits would make them proud? What excuses would disappoint them? Be honest. Then choose one habit that future version desperately wants you to start. Not 10 habits. 1. Focus on it for the next 30 days. Because massive change doesn't begin with massive action. It begins with a small decision repeated long enough to become part of who you are. One day, your future self will exist. That meeting is guaranteed. The only question is what they'll say. Will they thank you for your discipline, your courage, your consistency? Or will they wonder why you traded years of potential for moments of comfort? The future isn't something that happens to you. It's something you build. One decision, one habit, one day at a time.